Welcome to the Gospel Road, and we're going to look at Jeremiah 24. It says, after Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had taken into exile from Jerusalem, Jeconiah, the son of Eliakim, king of Judah, together with the officials of Judah, the craftsmen, the metalworkers, and had brought them to Babylon. The Lord showed me this vision. Behold, 2 baskets of figs placed before the temple of the Lord. One basket had very good figs, like first ripe figs, but the other basket had very bad figs, so bad that they could not be eaten. The Lord said to me, "What do you see, Jeremiah?" I said, "Figs. The good figs very good, and the bad figs very bad, so bad that they cannot be eaten." Then the word of the Lord came to me. Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, like these good figs, so I will regard as good the exiles from Judah, who I have sent away from this place to the land of the Chaldeans. I will set my eyes on them for good. I will bring them back to this land. I will build them up and not tear them down. I will plant them and not pluck them up. I will give them a heart to know that I am the God, and that they shall be my people, and I will be their God. For they shall return to me with the whole heart. But thus says the Lord, like the bad figs, they are so bad they cannot be eaten. So I will treat Zedekiah, the king of Judah, his officials, the remnant of Jerusalem, who remain in this land, and those who dwell in the land of Egypt. I will make them a horror to all the kingdoms of earth, to be a reproach, a byword, a taunt, and a curse in all the places where I shall drive them. And I will send sword, famine, and pestilence upon them, until they shall be utterly destroyed from the land that I gave to them and their fathers. Jeremiah 24, talking about good figs and bad figs. It's always interesting, the conversations I have with friends when we look at the different stories throughout the Bible, from the Old Testament to the New Testament. And the Old Testament, how they talk about God being a vicious God, a hateful God, a violent God. And then the New Testament, it's about love. It's all about love. Loving one another. And I think a lot of times when you are reading things and we are using them for ourselves today as allegories, what we need to remember is the bottom line. So here's how we're going to look at this. We're going to look at the good figs. And we're going to look at what God said he was going to do with the good figs. He was going to build them up. See, I think the bottom line when it comes to this, when you look at the Old Testament, it's God's love for his chosen. God's love for his people. It's the love that we need to focus on. It's the love that we need to share with one another. It's the love is how we need to treat one another. So I'm not going to worry about the bad figs. We know there's bad figs out there. We know the bad figs in our life. I don't think we always need to be reminded of those bad figs in our life, but I think what we need to be reminded of are the good figs in our life and how we can be good figs. You know, I make mistakes a lot. I don't always need to be reminded of those mistakes. But that's one thing we are very good at reminding people, tearing them down, judging them. And that's not our purpose. So it says here with the good figs, he says, I will build them up, not tear them down. I will plant them. I will not pluck them up. I will give them a heart to know that I am the Lord, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God, for they shall return to me with their whole heart. So how do you treat people around you at work? Are you building them up or are you tearing them down? Well, let's say you're a leader, you're a manager. How are you helping your employees, your coworkers, to be better coworkers? How are you helping your friends around you to be better people? And I think that's where we miss that boat many times, is that we are not always the best at building up one another. I know I can be terrible at it. I used to be worse, gotten better, because I have to be aware of how I am acting and talking and treating one another. Not everyone really understands me. People don't understand where I'm coming from. And they kind of look at me goofy sometimes. Just kind of is what it is. But that is where I try to focus myself, is to build up one another and to not tear them down. What can I do to help you get to the next level? Personally, professionally, and spiritually. The funny thing is, these are all things that work together, and that's something that we all realize. I was talking with some people last week and over this weekend. We're talking about how the separation of work and home. And, right, you might be in a job that there is kind of a clear separation. You don't really bring work home. When you leave work, it's done. But if you have a bad day at work, you could have a bad day at home. You have a bad day at home, or a bad day, a personal day, you have a bad day at work. The thing is, they really do play off of one another. And what are you going to do to help somebody with that? Or what are you going to do personally to try and overcome having those bad days so it doesn't bleed over? Not easy. It can be done. Not easy. Sometimes it can't be done. Just, it happens. But are you going to commit yourself to build up each other and to really help them, to promote them? Or are you going to be that person that just walks all over others? Do whatever it is that you can do to advance yourself at the risk of anybody else, and you don't care who's in your way because you're just going to tear them down. That's not me. I don't think that should be you. But again, that's not me. And that's only a decision that you can make. Because for me, it's as I advance, who can advance with me? Who can also be taken up to that next level for them? Because when I'm not just bettering myself, I'm also bettering those around me. I should be. I should be helping them. That is my purpose. I should be building them up and not tearing them down. Thank you for listening to The Gospel Road. Jeremiah 24 is what we're looking at. And as I always say, read it yourself. Because we're all in different areas of life. We're at different levels. And how this touches me and speaks to me does not mean that is how it is going to speak to you. Thank you for listening to The Gospel Road. Have a great day. God bless.